I believe that we are, Owen. And this is really difficult. Excuse me. This is really difficult to try to get information out to the public from where we sit. Can we always do better? Certainly we can. We can always do better. Are we making a concerted effort to be better? Yes, we are. You know, we try to get information out through the local access television stations. We get information out through our neighborhood alliances, which, you know, I think is one of the best things that's ever happened in Owensboro. To me, that's grassroots government at work. And I'm fully committed to that venue right there. Can we spend more time meeting with groups and organizations? And I think both of you are well aware that we spend a lot of time of our own time meeting with those groups. And I want to point out something, and this is unique to city governments, you know. City governments, the local level is the only place where you have immediate access to your elected officials. How often do you see a state senator or a congressman come to your town where you actually can spend time and talk with him? Not very often. How often do you have the opportunity to sit down and talk with your state representatives and your state senators? More than the guys that have obligations in Washington, but not as often as you do with your local elected officials. I'm in the phone book, my number's in the phone book, and all you have to do is pick up a phone and call us, and we are, for the most part, available, you know, 24/7. And I think that speaks a lot for those that get involved in government at the local level, because it does take a lot of time. One of the things that we've done over the past months at City Hall is, you remember the work sessions, how the work sessions used to be back in 406, and we've actually moved them out. And that creates a strain on our staff when we do that. That costs some dollars to do that. But that was a move to be more transparent, where people would not have the perception that, hey, the guys are back in that 406 room again, you know, making plans and doing things. We want to be up front with everyone, out front with everyone, and we have made an effort to make the citizens of Owensboro aware of what's going on. The only time that we go into 406 is when we have a closed session that has to do with land acquisition, or a business prospect, or a disciplinary matter with a city employee. But other than that, you know, we've made a concerted effort to share the information that we have with our constituents.
John, one of the criticisms that I hear is that you allow people to talk, to come in, state their case at a city commission meeting, but they say, but those guys already have their minds made up. So we feel like we're going in there, we're talking, but they're all ready to vote and they have their minds made up before we get there. How would you respond to that criticism?
And I can understand why people feel that way. I think what some people don't understand is that when we get ready to take a vote, we have spent a lot of time on those issues. And you know, there are 2 hearings, you know, on each city ordinance, and the staff gives us a lot of information. And a lot of time when people get up to speak about a certain aspect of that ordinance, they are not fully aware that we are already fully aware of what they're speaking about, you know. And so we do take a lot of time going over all the information. And yeah, that could be perceived as we having our minds made up, But I don't want to say most of the time, but a lot of the time, when people come up and bring that information to us, we're already aware of it and already have studied it. Does that happen all the time? Well, no, certainly not. You know, there are times when people do come up and share new information with us. And, you know, again, local government is the only place that you have the opportunity to do that. You can't go to Frankfurt and get on the floor of the Senate or the House of Representatives as a member of the a citizen of the state of Kentucky. You know, you're not allowed to do that, and certainly not in Washington D.C. You can't do that, but you can at your local government. You know, and that's important.